Hey everybody, welcome to SwJ. Today we're picking up where we left off last time, working on my blanket project. Today we're going to be adding another piece of khaki material onto my mostly denim blanket project. It's all cotton though, so sticking with cotton. And it's a lot. I know it's a lot of khaki. I was a little bit worried about being too khaki, but that's just my humble nature. So we're just gonna sew it because it's not that important. Stopping doesn't get you anywhere. So we're gonna get into it and get into the good world news. And today we're starting off the good world news with kind of a fluff story. It was it's not always possible to find major breakthroughs in medicine and energy production. You can only have so many. It's really, to me, it's really encouraging that I do have positive stories to share every day. The world hasn't gotten to that point where everyone has given up on the positivity, and there's still news of good stories. So we're going to start off today in the United States. And what happened is a local football team, high school football team, they had some weather. It's in the more northerly United States. So they had some pretty heavy snowfall. Seems it's a year for that. And therefore school was cancelled, and as it follows, football practice was cancelled. So no football workout. I thought that was my thread that pulled out there for a second. I grabbed a different thread. So apparently the coach wasn't having it, and decided that the boys needed to get out and get their exercise. So he assigned them as I'm going the wrong way. I always go inside to outside. I'm starting going inside to inside. Everything's backwards, man. That's okay. It's not that important. Anyway, so the coach decided that he was going to make sure that the team got their exercise in, and he sent out either a tweet or just message to everybody or whatever, and said that for your workout today you are to go and shovel a neighbor's driveway to help out with all this snow, and that's your workout for the day. So they did that, and it worked out. Oh, and here comes my coffee and my cookie. Yo. For those who don't know, that's my wife Sarah. She comes and brings me a coffee and cookie most episodes. Oh, and this I forgot I was going to mention. I'm going to leave my stitching a little deeper because of the khaki material. It's not quite as thick. It doesn't grab as well. So I'm going to make sure that I overlap quite a fair bit so that it grabs and does not let go. I'm going to move this pin over because, as I said, I was going the wrong way here, and I planned to move one of the pins from the other side over to this side. And there we go. Yeah, deeper cuts on the stitches. That is not the proper terminology, I'm sure. That's what I'm calling it. So these kids were assigned to shovel their neighbors' driveways, and soon after they started sending the coach photos of the shoveled driveways, and one pair were going around and they were already on their 6th drive, so they were all pumped up about it and helping people out and everything. And the one thing that the coach made sure to tell the kids was to not accept any payment for this, that this was their workout. This was not, this was a school directed, non, don't pay the kids kind of deal. And so I thought that was really cool. But some of the residents actually made donations to the school through the kids kind of thing. And because some people don't feel comfortable accepting something for nothing. Because then people think that they owe. And that's, if that's the way your thought process is, that's fine. Everyone has to each their own. That's fine. But I think it was good that the directive was to not ask for payment and to refuse it, unless they were adamant, kind of thing. So yeah, kind of a feel good story. Young folks helping out the neighborhood. And they could very well save some lives, because a lot of people die, heart attacks while shoveling snow. And on a very related story to that, there's a story of a 71-year-old man in Sweden who was shoveling his snow in his driveway and had a heart attack. And, well, I should say had a heart attack. Inflection. And probably would have died had it not been for a new service, which is the story that I'm getting to, which is an emergency drone which supplies defibrillator machines, automated defibrillator machines. So this is kind of another fortunate thing, is there was a doctor that happened by, but these defibrillator machines, anybody can use them. I've used them, not on anyone, but I've been trained on them, and they are incredibly easy to use. And now they have a drone program that if you call in an emergency and it's a heart attack, they send out a drone, and their normal response time is in the city where they are is around 10 minutes, and for a heart attack that can be too long. So they got the response time down to 3 minutes with the clone, or with the drone. Sorry, looking cloned drones. There's going to be a lot of them. Getting some threads going. Alright, and we won't go quite all the way into the corner. We'll finish that up when we join it up with the next piece. And just, if you want to look it up, the company is called Everdrone, and the program they're doing is called EMADE, EMADE, which is, oh shoot, I gotta look at it here. Emergency Medical Aerial Delivery Service. Emergency Medical Aerial Delivery Service. So, pretty cool, cutting edge, and it's a big drone. So just from the difference in size between the defibrillator and the drone in the photo, that's a big drone, and it must be able to book it pretty fast. And I guess drone operator is a career now, is a job like thing now. Yeah, because you get like drone camera operators and drone operators for emergency response and stuff like that, so it's pretty neat. Kind of like when video games first came out, you know, who thought you'd make a career on it, and now people are gamers. There's tons of gamers out there making a living at gaming, either being, you know, testers for companies or online streaming, or, you know, anything like that. It's pretty intense. And it makes sense though, like if you're a company and you want to test out these products, and you know, you don't have those skills, if you're not good enough to play your own games, somebody has to. Cheers. Alright, let's get some more thread going. So, moving now from kind of a smaller scale thing to a more of a worldwide story. The furniture company IKEA has its sights set on carbon neutrality, and it's kind of a few good stories in one. They recently purchased 3,200 acres. I didn't do the hectare conversion, I'm sorry. 3,200 acres, which were damaged by Hurricane Michael. And they purchased this land in order to plant trees on it. And I've learnt the word for replanting an area, and it's called afforestation. Instead of deforestation, it's afforestation. AFF. Orestation. That's a cool word. I like it. Now the other big story with IKEA directly related is that they own a total of around 600,000 acres around the world. And all of that land area is being sustained or revitalized by the company in order to make up for the carbon footprint that their company leaves. And they're aiming for carbon neutrality. The way the way the article wrote it was really awkward. It said something like, in 40 years, if maintained properly, the forest will like reduce the company's carbon footprint by a percentage or something. Like, it didn't really say anything. So one of those things where the article was trying to throw out some like numbers that just weren't relevant at all and made no sense at all to me. Maybe someone else understood it better, I guess, the person that wrote it, hopefully. But yeah, I didn't get it. So basically, if the forest survives, it'll help. But I think the bigger story there is that they're doing something about it, and that it's to the large number of 600,000 acres worldwide. Good on you, IKEA. I've never really been a big IKEA fan, just, crazily mass-produced, but at least they're trying to reduce their carbon footprint. And I know a company like that's a big carbon footprint. You just gotta wonder which is a larger carbon footprint, like someone or people scattered worldwide making things in their homes, or a global corporation like that makes things en masse and ships them everywhere. My assumption would be that the carbon footprint would probably be smaller, because the smaller businesses would be able to be likely incorporated into homes, work from home kind of situations. Local furniture makers, local cloth makers, well, everything that they sell at IKEA, I don't know, maybe not. You get that many things under one roof, it's hard to replace it on a local scale, and definitely not as inexpensively. So it's tough, you want to balance out things with, being kind to the environment. It's just everyone wants things as cheaply as possible, especially when things are going the way they are. I think the biggest thing that needs to happen is a shift in people's mindset. And that is away from the disposable society and away from, oh, if it's not perfect, it's garbage. You know, the thing that drives me nuts is, well, it benefits me, so, you know, I can't argue too much, but is blemish items. You know, you get a fridge with a scuff somewhere on the back that you're never gonna see it, and you get it for like half price. Why? It's just like, it's so unreasonable. And I know you want you get something new, you want it to be perfect, you know, but why? Like, it just seems so wasteful, so harmful to the companies that are making these things. You know, if things didn't have to be to the level of perfection where everything has to be shrink wrapped before it goes somewhere, you know, they have the film that they put on everything. You know, you get something new, you peel the entire thing. It's the whole world. It has to be wrapped in plastic before it gets sent to you, and that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why not sell phones like cell phones instead of coming in this big fancy box and, you know, making the price be $1,000 for a frickin' phone? Why not just sell the phone? The phone and the accessories, have it just like packaged, sent to the company in a big box, a bunch of phones, and just have them not in all this packaging, like wrap them in a sleeve of paper, you know, or some of this hex packaging that I was talking about in one of the previous episodes. You know, not an entire massive box full of everything that, it's ridiculous. The overpackaging in society is just gone nuts. Like, oh, okay, great example. Pardon me. Cheers. Great example of overpackaging. Oh, I don't have any. If I do, okay. Pardon me a second. I need to just grab something. Okay, so one of the best examples of overpackaging that I can think of right now is in the cannabis industry, because every few grams of cannabis that you buy, you get a plastic container with labeling on it, and it's nuts. Like, when you buy a joint, a marijuana cigarette, it comes in a cardboard box. In that cardboard box is a plastic tube, and then inside that plastic tube is your joint. When I went to Amsterdam, this was in 2012, this was a decade ago. Sort of stunned myself with that fact for a second. 2012. When you bought marijuana from the coffee shop and you bought a pack of joints, you wouldn't buy just one, you would buy a pack. You would get 5 joints in a small cardboard box. Just a blank cardboard box. You use your joints, you either save it for more joints or you recycle it. Done. No massive box, tons of labels. There was no labeling. Easily recyclable when there's no labeling, and there was no plastic tube inside with labels on the plastic tube. There was basically the paper box, 5 marijuana cigarettes inside, and that was it. No warnings, no nothing. You don't need it. I think overregulation and bureaucracy are two of the things that are destroying major major countries and the environment along with it. Let's just look to Europe for a lot of the answers. The answers are already there. You know, the Americas, it's new. We're still young. We're still trying to figure everything out. You know, things are falling into balance now. You know, like everything's changing so quickly. You know, 50 years ago was what, the 70s? And just look, like in a couple of generations from the 70s till now, it's just unbelievable how the world has changed. And when the Americas started, they were already, you know, who knows how long behind Europe. You know, so I don't know. I gotta get out of this history lesson. I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, just yammering for a little bit here. Get some more thread. And we'll get on with our final story of the day. We started off our episode with young people helping out old people. And we're going to end the day with old people helping out everybody. Actually, I should say that another way. Just because they weren't being selective in the football team there. Go from young people helping everybody to old people helping everybody. That's much more positive. I like that better. So in Wisconsin, in the States, it's a snowy place, and well, this person isn't shoveling driveways, but with all the snow and ice, it makes things treacherous. Yikes. And a lot of places have, for their garbage and recycling pickup, they have roller bins that you have to bring from your house to the end of the driveway. And when it's snowy and icy, that can be very treacherous for some people. So what's been happening for a while is someone had been going around and bringing the bins back from the end of the driveway to the people's houses. You know, just after the garbage and recycling trucks would go by, this person would make his rounds and bring the garbage bins back up, and you know, people started wondering what was going on. It's like, you know, couples were asking, "Hey, did you bring the bins back?" "No." "Did you?" "No." "Okay." And so one couple decided they needed to give this person a Christmas gift, and it was just before the holidays kind of thing, before Christmas. So they hung out and waited for the person to bring the bins up. Cheers. And it turns out it's a 75-year-old retiree from Wisconsin, from the area, and he just felt that it would be a good thing to do. And I'm gonna leave you with the quote, with what he said, and then I'm gonna give you a minute to think about that while I finish up my stitching here. The quote is, "Just be nice to all people. It's just what you gotta do." Just think if you were at home and you needed someone for help. Just be nice to all people. It's just what you gotta do. Just think if you were at home and you needed someone for help. Just be nice to all people. It's just what you gotta do. I'm going to take the word just out of there because just seems to make it smaller than it is. Be nice to all people. It's what you gotta do. Be nice to all people. It's what you gotta do. And to extend that, think if you were at home and you needed someone for help. And I'm going to leave that entire last sentence off of there and just cut it down to what's at the core of this. Be nice to all people. It's what you got to do. All people. If someone's done you wrong, and you treat them differently because they've done you wrong, they control you. Be nice to all people. Own your own mind. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. Stitch turned out great. Really appreciate the time that we get to spend together. And yeah, we'll see you again soon, I hope. Until next time, keep chillin'. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.